one of the big things is that people are saying it's group hate on the ending, and that people are only doing this because everybody else is saying they don't like the ending. But instantly when I read it, I didn't look at anybody else's opinion. I read it and I'm like, bruh, that junk was trash. And then I went to go see, like what other people were saying, and other people were also saying it was trash. So I'm like, all right, I mean, it was trash. It wasn't good. The fighting was awesome though. Like all the previous Titan shifters showing up, and even ones we never seen before fighting. That was pretty cool. I mean, there's a whole lot of plot armor if we're being honest. Realistically, obviously the show is unrealistic, but they're not surviving. Like they're dead.
No.
Everybody is dead. There's like 30, 50 plus Titans. Titan shifters, like with actual powers, not just dumb Titans. Titans that can actually use abilities, fighting five people, and then a cart Titan and an armored Titan. Like, bro, they're done. They're clapped. Like, what are we talking about?
It was tons of plot armor.
Yeah, tons of plot armor. Like, my whole thing was I didn't like how, because the show's been, for the most part, it's been very, very, other than Reiner surviving so much, the plot armor hasn't been super crazy. People die. Whoever's listening, if this is a clip, they'll be like, there is tons of plot armor, and then they'll list a whole bunch of instances when there was plot armor. But for the most part, from my remembrance and what I seen, I don't feel like Attack on Titan is one of those animes that goes crazy with the plot armor. Like things just kind of happen in the way they happen. I'm trying to think of like a crazy plot armor moment outside of like Reiner surviving stuff.
I can't really think of any either off the top of my head.
I think maybe when Eren first got eaten and he didn't know he was a Titan shifter, but he was still alive inside the Titan.
Yeah, that was probably one.
But aside from that, I can't think of anything else. And then I also want to say this. I think the show went downhill when they introduced Ymir and gave her a backstory. Like before, we just knew Ymir was like the creator of Titans. We didn't know how she got her power, who she was. She was just, the person who created them. And then once we got the backstory, that's when I think the show started going downhill because it didn't make any sense.
More questions than answers for me.
Yeah. And then it's like her reasoning that I didn't like. I don't know. It's just a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense and it has more questions. Like Mikasa being the answer to stopping this. I'm not understanding. Is it because she killed her love, and Ymir didn't get her opportunity to kill the person she loved, but the person she loved was somebody who literally abused and raped her and like took her freedom and forced her to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's like Stockholm syndrome. Like why do you love this man who has done nothing but bad to you and force you to have his kids? I'm not understanding where this love is coming from. And he doesn't even love you. He just wants you because you can create Titans for him that are related to him that he can use for his army. So that was like, I'm not like my brain.
Yeah, I was really
like,
confused on that.
I'm like, what? And why is Mikasa the answer? And then my whole thing with Eren is like he was saying his brain is like, he didn't say mush, but it basically was like he was like I don't know what's going on. Like the past, the present, and the future is all happening at once, and I don't know what's what. Like I'm talking to you right now, and I don't know what's happening right now. Like this could be the past, it could be the future. I don't know where I'm at, And he was like, I've tried multiple times to stop or change the outcome. But have you really? I don't think you have, because their plan prior to this was actually a really good plan. Like Armin and them, they were like, we'll give them a little bit of the rumbling. Like we won't hurt anybody. We'll just show them like this is what we can do. And if you just stand off and you don't mess with us, we won't use it. And they were like, we'll also be trying to build relationships with other countries, because prior to this, Marley did like their whole propaganda thing to turn the whole world against, Eldia or Paradise, I want to say.
Right.
Because remember, they were like, the rest of the world was getting fed up with Marley because
like
they were
Tiber and the announcement.
Yeah, the announcement. He was like, we have to kill them because they're coming after us. And then that's when Eren basically sent them the letter, and they all showed up that day, and they just did their thing, and he killed Willie Tiber, and he got the one Titan power. I forgot her name. The Warhammer Titan power, and that's when they just like killed a bunch of innocent people who were just watching, and a bunch of other stuff. It was just a whole lot of things that could have happened differently. And then a lot of people were saying Eren's true goal was to have his friends live long lives and like not have to worry about, I guess, dying. But it's like, dude, you could have did that. I mean, my whole thing is like, all right, at the end of the day, right, the cycle of violence in war is never going to end. Like humans are always going to have conflict of some sort, right? Cool.
Right.
And so if that's the case, would you killed 80% of the population, right?
Right.
And your goal You're going like, yeah, it's not making sense. It's not making sense as you say it out loud. You kill 80% of the world's population, and then you allow your friends to save the 20% remaining.
Pack them.
And now you're supposed to, everybody, you want them to look at them as like heroes. Mind you, you come from the same place. All your friends, you come from that island. From the outside looking in, all people know is that the people on that island are devils, right? That's how they view them. They're devils, they're titans, and they're just bad. And then the worst nightmare is that they do the rumbling. That's literally the worst nightmare of the world, right? You do that. You kill 80% of the world's populations. And then you have your friends stop it, but those same people are from the same place you came from where they already hate you. So they're like, okay, you just stopped a problem you caused. We still hate you. You killed more than half the world. Why am I going to look at you as a savior?
And that is what kind of happened, isn't it? Like they kind of still weren't really messing with them.
Yeah, people still don't mess with them. And the other 20% is still trying to, he basically his thing was like, I basically got rid of the Titans, so now it's an even battlefield. But they're 50 years behind in technology.
And aren't they also like Marleyans? Like, didn't he create like the Marleyans basically? Or not the Marleyans, the like the Neo Erens, the Neo Jaegers.
The Eren, I forgot what their name, but they're like, they have that army. Yeah, the Jaegerists, the Jaegerists, that's their new army. And it's like, bro, you guys are 50 years behind in technology compared to the rest of the world. And then the world was already getting to a point, like prior to the rumbling, where like Titans were becoming obsolete because technology is getting so advanced they could immobilize the Titans easily. Like, remember when I want to say the start of the last season when it showed the Marleyans' point of view? Yeah, the wars, and they dropped the Titans, but they had the little gun that like shot that completely shot Reiner's arm off, and it like basically immobilized. Like they had guns and giant like tanks that could shoot bullets and stop Titans fully.
Yeah.
So the rest of the world is catching up, and they're fed up with Marley because Marley is oppressing other people too. They're using their Titans to try to take over other land to increase their empire. And so it's like, you guys are 50 years in the past. You no longer have your Titans, and the rumbling is not a threat anymore. So the last remaining 20%, after some time, obviously they had to get their shit together, come together, which you saw in the end credits. They just nuked the fucking paradise. They nuked it. They just completely destroyed the place. So it's like what really happened?
I assume that there was war going on all over the place. So not
that's
just
what I think it was ongoing. I feel like it was ongoing. It might have been like a Cold War kind of thing where like nobody's trying to step on anybody, but technology is advancing. And then it just got to a point where it's like, all right, we're over it. We're gonna get rid of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think it would have been a better ending if he just literally killed everybody, and then the remaining the Eldians are the last people on Earth. They're living their lives. And he only had 3 years left, four years left to live anyway, right? So in 4 years, he's going to die. In like 6 or 7 years, Armin's going to die. Mikasa's going to live out the rest of her life in old age. So is, well, I don't know. I mean, theoretically, if he would have completed the rumbling, he probably would have ended up killing his friends too, if he had to. But I don't know. I just thought the ending was bad. I thought a whole bunch of stuff that happened didn't make any sense. Like, there's so many other ways to do this. And then it was making it seem like he had no choice. Because you're saying, like, I tried to fix it, but it's already set in stone. Like, what Ymir wants to do is what Ymir wants to do. Like, this is how she thinks it's going to end. And I still don't understand, like, what her end goal was. Like, how did Mikasa free her by killing Eren? Like, what was that? That wasn't explained. I don't get how...
Yeah, Ymir is just confusing. I didn't understand the Ymir thing at all.
And then you got the giant centipede that's like life, and it's like, what is this? That's why I was saying, like, when they introduced Ymir and they explained the Titan powers, that's just stupid. It was this little girl. Well, the way that like Zeke explained it was like, it was this little girl that fell into this hole, and she didn't want to die, so she created this way of living so she could live forever, and that created the paths. And then she created a body that was like bigger than her body, that couldn't be like killed or damaged or whatever. So that created a Titan. So I don't know if that's saying like Ymir's version of when she came in contact with that centipede thing, this is what she envisioned to be her way of living forever. So that's what manifested is Titans. Because if that's the case, then at the end, when the kid with his dog is walking in the tree, he might have a different idea of how to live forever or whatever his thing is. And it might not be a Titan that is formed. It might be something else. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't explain that. They didn't explain if the reason Titans exist is because Ymir's idea of forever living was being in this huge body that has this connected path with people related to her, or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough explanation. It's just a lot of open ended and what is this? You know?